Welcome to the DMF. I'm Justin Yance. This is part one. Okay, I have a guest with me today. I have Eddie Green. He does a podcast called Eddie Green 101, Terminator 101, and now his newest podcast, James Cameron 101. He also has a show on YouTube called No Fate But What We Stream. How you doing, Eddie?
I am great, Justin. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Thank you for coming on. So, first question I always ask everybody is, where did you grow up?
St. Augustine, Florida,
Awesome.
the oldest city in the country. That's what they say.
Really?
I don't. I
Did
mean, I assume they're not lying, but I don't even know who they are. But
yeah.
yeah, apparently it's the oldest city in the U.S.
Cool.
So
Did that
that's where I was
affect you
born.
in did that affect you in any way?
No, I don't really. No, 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 no. I think I was actually born at the same hospital that I remember my mom telling me that John Travolta had a kid at.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like the hospital has like a wall or something where there's photos of John Travolta on, and it's like that's one of the hallmarks of that particular hospital. I think it's called Flagler Hospital or
Mm.
something like that. But yeah, and then I grew up. So that's where I was born. So actually, hold on,
Mm.
let me backtrack here. I was born St. Augustine. I grew up in a little town called Palm Coast, Florida.
Cool.
So it's about, I don't know, 45 minutes south of St. Augustine.
Cool. Were you always interested in film?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it all really, I mean, I think it all started, my dad showed me a lot of Arnold movies. And so
Yeah.
I think that's why Terminator just kind of sticks to me. And I've always come back to it. And kind of, if you look at everything that you just listed there, Terminator, James Cameron, No Fate But What We Stream, it's really all tied back to that, connection, James Cameron, Arnold. So yeah, always loved films. I think my earliest memory of seeing a film is The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Really?
Like I'm
Wow.
sure I saw movies before then, but that's my first kind of, as far back as I can go in my head, remembering going to the theater, watching
Yeah.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
What was the first Arnold film that like really spoke to you?
Probably Batman and Robin.
Really?
Unfortunately, cue the wah,
Wow.
wah, wah.
Yeah. Do you still feel that same way now?
Oh yeah, I know. I love that movie. It's I think what, like, hold on, what did I say on another previous podcast years ago? I said it's maybe the worst way to get introduced to Arnold because it's or maybe it's the best way. I don't know how I feel about it now, but you'll never top a blue bald Arnold. It's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it sticks and it's one heck of a film. It's definitely the, I don't Batman Forever. I don't know which one's worse. I was gonna say it's the stinkiest, but maybe it's not. I don't know because it's got Arnold, but then you got
Yeah.
Jim Carrey in the other one, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Um,
about Batman and Robin?
I mean, it could have been so much better. I just wish like I know what Arnold can do if you push him in that direction. I'd be like, look, stop with the puns. We've got too much of that. Let's go deeper into some of the darker stuff here and show us a side of Arnold that we haven't seen before. Because I think he could have done that because he hints at it in that movie at points, and I'm just like they want a kids movie.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's out there that it was really just a, you know,
Yeah,
what, hour and 45, 2 hour long toy commercial. Um,
basically.
and I think going to the pun thing about Arnold, I think that's kind of what his career ended up being built on anyway, was just how
Mm,
many puns can we give or how many one-liners can we give Arnold because he doesn't have a really good uh he doesn't have really good acting ability, first of all. Let's just be
yeah,
real. Let's call a spade a
yeah,
spade.
yeah,
Um and he has a really thick Austrian accent. So that truly limits him to what he can
yeah,
do. And it's amazing that he did become who he became.
yeah,
So I'm not taking that away from him, but it is, I think he was miscast as Mr. Freeze ultimately.
yeah.
I think somebody else should have played that role. And Uh, I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe I just PO'd
Yeah,
somebody.
they wanted Hopkins, I think. They wanted Hopkins. They talked to Patrick Stewart. These were some of the people that were kind of pushed on him, but Joel Schumacher, he had his heart set on Arnold.
And they
That
probably would
was
have asked for less money too.
probably. Tell me, what specifically made you a fan of James Cameron?
What made me a fan? Well, Terminator, definitely. And then my favorite is Titanic.
Mm,
That is definitely the film that's his masterwork. And to me,
mm,
it doesn't get any better than that. So, um, but what specifically, it's just
mm.
he's quality over quantity. And I think that's why I gravitate toward him. You look at some other like Spielberg I mean, he's a goat for some obvious
Yeah,
reasons. But I think he has like 30 some odd films and there's a lot of stinkers in there. And you look at a lot of directors and they typically fall into that, category
yeah,
where they got a lot of stinkers personally. And I think if you could poll, anybody, I don't necessarily think Cameron has a stinker. You might not like it, but they aren't bad films if even if you don't like them. So,
agreed.
you know what I mean? They're masterfully done. They're just everything about them works, even if it doesn't work for you. It's not a I don't know, always from Steven Spielberg or whatever. It's yeah, quality over quantity.
I like that he takes his time. I mean, after Titanic, he said that it was Return of the King that like made him want to go back and make movies again. And then we, 2009, we finally get Avatar. And I know some people don't like Avatar, but it is a good film. I mean, it might not have the zeitgeist memorability of like a Terminator or at Aliens, but it is a well-made film. Same thing with the sequel. I mean, he took his time to make those films, and I appreciate that. I agree with you. He doesn't really have any bad, unless you count like Piranha 2, The Spawning, but he he really
Which,
didn't have much to do with that.
which I still will go to the grave saying it's better than Piranha 1. I don't know if you've seen both of them,
I've
but
never I've never seen either one of those.
so the first Piranha is I think more highly regarded. Um, but for me, the second one is where they start flying, and I think that works better for it. It's already an absurd
Yeah,
concept of killer piranhas, so
yeah,
why not make them fly and really own it? And that film owns it. So I will movie fight. I don't know if you're familiar with movie fights. I
mm,
I will movie fight anybody, which is better, Piranha 1 or Piranha 2. I'm team Piranha 2. And that's my James
yeah.
Cameron bias aside. That's I'm just I'm looking at the film. So
Could you ever see him going back and being like, you know what, I want to make another film like Piranha 2?
no, 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 no. He's gonna thankfully he's not gonna die doing Avatar. He's at least gonna give us, he's adapting Last Train from
Yeah,
Hiroshima. So just he has to find the time to film it. I don't know when that's gonna
yeah, I
be,
don't know.
but thank God we're not just gonna get endless Avatar.
Yeah, same here. I would love for him to come back to, I mean, he's writing the Terminator films, but it's like I feel like well, we're gonna get to that, when we talk about the Terminator films. One of the things I noticed about your podcast and from my research with you is you really have an eye of a filmmaker. Like you notice a lot of things about filmmaking. Is that something you've wanted to do? Are you a filmmaker? Are you in that realm?
Nope, nope. I think at one point I wanted to be an actor, and
Mm,
I did a lot of that in high school, a lot of musicals, plays, and still to this day, my mom always shout out, mom, hi. She always is like, "Don't you still want to do it? Don't you still love it?" And I love watching it, and I love kind of taking it in and uh, being a part of the audience. I don't necessarily want to do that anymore, but yeah, no, filmmaking, directing. Oh no, 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 no. I would never, never do that.
yeah,
No.
yeah. So what? So did you did plays? Did you have a specific discipline that you learned in acting? I'm just curious.
Discipline. I don't think I would say it's a discipline, but
Mm,
it's what got me through high school. It's what got me
mm,
through, because I always say I didn't go to school to learn. I went to school to act. That's
cool.
really where I was most happy. Um, and my different acting teachers and everything, what I learned from them, it's been so long. I don't know that I really can recall what I learned from them. They were just really, really awesome. I loved being around them, and I wish I was still in touch with some of those teachers, but unfortunately lost touch with them. So,
Cool. So I was meaning more like because I'm an actor as well. So
okay.
like did you study Meisner? Did you study Stanislavski? Did you study any of those masters or
Nope.
okay, cool. Cool.
Sorry.
Um no, no, that no
I don't want to
there's
lie
no
to you.
need to be
Like,
sorry.
yeah, no, no. I don't want to lie to you and be like, oh, yes, 100%. The method, of course, the method. Yes.
Yes. And that'll ask you specific questions.
Oh,
Be
oh.
like, hey, be like, what is that?
So, like, for example, right? For example, one of the shows we did was To Kill a Mockingbird.
Hmm.
And I was cast as Atticus,
Oh
and
wow.
when I look back on it, because it was filmed and it's on YouTube, when I look back on it, literally, and I got praise, and it was just people being nice, because literally all I did was a almost verbatim copy of Gregory Peck. That's literally all I did. Like,
That's great.
and somehow my I don't know, my director let it slide, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to do it today, I would definitely approach it differently. I wouldn't copy,
Mm,
but I think that's how I
yeah.
felt back in 2011 is when I did that.
Yeah.
So,
So, hey, whatever works, at the end of the
yeah,
day in acting.
all right.
Um, Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.